Tonight it's Superbikes, round 3 of the World Championship from Hockenheim in Germany. And boxing, the fight Boxing News wanted you to see. Hello again. For football fans as well, a chance later to see the conclusion of the Italian season in our European roundup. But we start tonight with the World Superbike Series, which began at Donington a couple of weeks ago, went on to Hungary, and now resumes at Hockenheim in West Germany. Simon Reed is our man on the spot, and his race co-commentator is Andrew McKinnon.
All is quiet in this peaceful country village in West Germany, but wait. Hello, Simon Reed here. Welcome to Hockenheim in West Germany and round 3 of the World Superbike Championship. A massive crowd here and a real feast in store for them. The riders are getting ready. There's Marco Lucanelli, the winner at Donington, showing how his mastery of two wheels began. And his great Italian rival, David Tardozzi, also looking pretty relaxed. The crowd flocking in. Time for us now to have a look at the point standings going into the third round. Freddie Merkel of the States on his Honda has been the most consistent. Then come two Italians, Lucanelli and Pirovano, with the man with the fastest bike of them all, David Tardozzi, back in 6th place. A reminder of the new points format. We have 2 races today. Each counts separately, with a winning rider in each race getting 10 points. The mechanics fine-tuning the promoter. The team's leading rider, though, has no doubts as to how they'll perform.
When we are in the first 3 is good, but I think that tomorrow we can have first and second place.
But a new threat has emerged at Hockenheim. Honda Motul have produced 2 crack Frenchmen, Christophe Bourbon on the left and Alex Vieira on the right. Has their presence come as a shock to the rest of the riders?
I think it has, yeah. I think it has, definitely to me. Well, the riders, firstly, have got a lot of experience with the machines, and Honda France have run a world endurance team for years, and I'm sure they've collected quite a few parts over the years that they have adapted to the RC30, and we found that, for instance, the exhaust pipe, they've adapted the endurance exhaust pipe to the bike, and it seems to go well with it on, and just certain things that have given it just that bit more horsepower, and obviously they're riding them well, so it's come as a shock.
There the riders lining up, and pole position goes to Alex Vieira from France. The French done very well. Christophe Bourbon also on the front row. Notice as we go through that there's no place for the two who did so well last week, Marius and Freddie Merkel, way back down.
Yes, Merkel and Marias suffering from a lack of horsepower. Interesting to note that Vieira has gone a full second quicker than the existing 4-stroke lap record set by Virginio Ferrari last year.
Here we go then with the start of the third round of the World Superbike Championship. 15 laps, 4.2 miles around this Hockenheim circuit. And they're off. And it looks like Edwin Webel, the far side, has taken the lead. But Pirovano and Mertens, well there as well. In fact, he's been taken, and it's Mertens who's in front.
Yes, as they head out towards the forest, Mertens and Pirovano both slipped under Webel, but Webel's hit back. They're only halfway down the straight, and Swiss rider Edwin Webel has got back to the front of the field on his Honda RC30. Yes, Webel in front. Stefan Mertens of Belgium in 2nd place on his promoter. David Tardozzi at the moment not in the picture. Through the chicane, they'll be using a little bit of caution on the opening lap just to feel their way a little bit. They're through the chicane and still in the forest section down towards the 130-mile-an-hour Orst curve.
There we are then. It's Webel leading. It's Mertens second. Pirovano is in 3rd place. And there comes Tardozzi. Tardozzi takes over 3rd place.
Yes, we couldn't imagine that Tardozzi would be out of the frame for very long. He's now moved through to 3rd place. Webel really under pressure here, and Tardozzi makes his move. Tardozzi makes his move as they head towards the 2nd chicane, outbraking the pack beautifully there. sweeping through the chicane, and Tardozzi, as usual, is out front.
So it's David Tardozzi who had that remarkable time in the second race at Donington, where he fell off on the last lap, just in second place to win the whole event, but tried to beat Lucanelli and fell off there, but looks pretty dominant here at the moment.
Tardozzi then leads the field into the Sachs curve for the first time. Sachs curve, the first corner to be negotiated in the stadium section at this wonderful circuit, one of the best venues in the world, bar none. The Sachs curve leads straight into Opal curve. These two corners need wrapping up in one clean sweeping manoeuvre to get the best out of them, as Tardozzi brings the field round onto the start and finish straight for the first time.
So it's Tardozzi from Babel. In fact, Babel been overtaken by Stefan Mertens, so it's Tardozzi from Mertens. Those two both looking back, and they see Edwin Babel in third place.
Could it be already that the superior horsepower of these Italian Bimotor machines, powered by Yamaha's fuel-injected engine, and a short race there for Wolfgang Mokel on a Honda RC30 back in the pits after only one lap. There have been several problems with the RC30 machines, and obviously another one there. And that's Claudio Bosola, the Zurich-based road racing journalist who parks his Bimotor Yamaha against the guardrail.
No change up front. David Tardozzi leads Stefan Mertens. In third place, Edwin Babel. And as the rest go through, you can see that Freddie Merkel nowhere to be seen in the front runners.
Merkel suffering from an acute lack of horsepower in West Germany this weekend. He's been worried all through qualifying that he wouldn't have the legs to match the Bimotors, and it seems that that's going to be the story. Beautiful style, Tardozzi there. He wants to lead this race. Mertens tucked right in behind, and perhaps a surprise with Edwin Babel there in fourth position. He's had no form in the series to date, just losing out there on third place to the Honda France man, Alex Vieira.
It's Alex Vieira, the most successful endurance rider in the world. He's moved into third place on his Honda RC30, but it's David Tardozzi up in front on his Bimotor. Stefan Mertens on a Bimotor second, and then the Honda of Alex Vieira.
So Tardozzi takes them round yet again at the head of the field. Mertens in second, then Vieira as they go out at the end of the start and finish straight and out towards the forest for the third time.
Up into this long straight now where the riders can get up to 200 miles an hour, and it's the Bimotors in front. Tardozzi from Mertens. Mertens slipstreaming, Tardozzi moves out, overtakes, and it's Mertens once again in the lead on lap 3.
Yes, these long straights, shrouded by trees on either side, make preparation of the machines, particularly in the carburation department, extremely sensitive. You have to get a happy medium between the oxygen-producing forest and the clean air in the stadium section. So the race engineers have really done their jobs well here today.
Mertens still in the lead, but Tardozzi threatening once again, and Tardozzi moves in on the inside, and once again he's in the lead.
Tardozzi doesn't really know how to run a race from behind, likes to lead the field. We saw 3 races ago that was perhaps not as mature a rider as one would have liked to have seen him at that stage, but he's come on in leaps and bounds in just 3 races, and just look at him now as he pulls away from his teammate once again.
But once again, Mertens threatening right behind him. But they're not pulling away too much. Vieira's in third place on the Honda, and behind him, Edwin Babel on his Honda, still in touch as well. So it's Bimotor 1 and 2, Honda 3 and 4, but no real pattern emerging at the moment. Tardozzi, though, always looks a threat. and Merton's machines reckoned to be the fastest. And after 3 laps and 12.5 miles, they look the dominating factor. On the last lap now, and David Tardozzi has a commanding lead of 3 or 4 seconds. No place for Stefan Mertens of Belgium. He's had problems with his engine and he's dropped right out, but there is a promoter in front, and it's David Tardozzi who's showing increasing maturity. There's the gap to Christophe Bourbons. It's been quite a ride from Tardozzi.
Yes, in 3 short races from Donington Park, we've seen a complete transformation in the maturity of this rider. Absolutely marvellous. Into the stadium for the last time. And the 29-year-old from Ravenna has had a brilliant ride here, and the boys there, where promoter operate their plant, will be delighted with this scene. Absolutely dominated this race after the opening skirmish, and he's gone further and further in front. A brilliant talent, and it's been shown here. David Tardozzi takes the checkered flag here in Hockenheim and wins the first race of this World Superbike Championship round 3. In second place is Christophe Bourbon, and third Alex Vieira on his Honda. But was Tardozzi ever worried about the others?
I don't know, because I go first in the first lap, and I don't see Honda. I don't know.
And you don't look behind you?
I don't see behind. I think they all need to go fast, because I think that Honda is a fast bike and have 2 fast riders, but...
So there's the results of the first race. David Tardozzi takes maximum points. Bourbon second, Alex Vieira third, Roger Burnett fifth behind Edwin Babel, and Lucanelli sixth. 4 points for Virginio Ferrari, and Stefan Mertens ends up in 13th place.
In the beginning, Volkswagen built the Beetle, the original small car. They then built the Golf, the classic sporty small car. Then came the Polo, the ultimate practical small car. And now Volkswagen, famous for their great small cars, introduce a great big one.
Yeah, what would you do for a pint of Green King IPA?
I'd swim up and down the Limpopo, and to show you what bravery means, I'd go on that Japanese show and have things put down my jeans. I'd risk a takeaway from Kathmandu, score a goal like a you-know-who, go blindfold on the beach at Saint-Tropez. For a pint of Green King IPA. For a pint of Green King IPA. For a pint of Green King IPA.
Vodafone inquiries. My 3-year-old son's locked in the car with the keys in the ignition.
Don't worry, Mr. Nichols.
Hello.
Hello. What's your name?
Oliver.
Now, you see the button on the door beside you?
Yeah.
You lift that up. Bye-bye.
More people choose the Racal Vodafone network because we've invested in people as well as technology.
There is a place where dreams come true, where the most superb furniture is beautifully displayed in room settings, where a house becomes a home. Whether you live in Beverly Hills or Bury St Edmunds, Hatfields has everything for your dream home. Wake up, George. Hatfields of Colchester. Positively home from home.
You can tell what some cats have been eating just by watching them. Whiskers. Now it's even tastier. And that's better for both of you.
On to race number 2 now, and there's the front row of the grid. Let's have a look at the riders in detail. And in pole position, Alex Vieira from Honda France.
A full second quicker than the existing 4-stroke lap record. Quite an amazing performance for a man making his first appearance in the World Superbike Championship.
And Alex Vieira has a mighty tough customer alongside him. David Tardozzi, the winner of the first race from Italy on his Bimota Yamaha.
Looking nice and relaxed, and well he might after a performance like that in the opening leg.
And David Tardozzi has Stefan Mertens alongside him from Brussels, who was disappointed with his 13th place in the first race.
Yes, he's not been the luckiest of riders so far in the series, but he'll be out to make amends for that in leg 2.
Next comes Christophe Bourbon of France, again on the Honda RC30, the French Superbike champion last year.
Vieira's partner going extremely well in that first leg and must be excited by his performance.
And the man who was 4th in the first race on his Honda from Switzerland, Edwin Weibel.
No real form so far in the series, but looks like we've got more to come from this man.
And Marco Lucanelli, for the first time, not on the front row.
Before, I think in the fast track Ducati have advantage, but now I think it's better if you make a race in a slow track.
Have you got 6 gears on your bike this week, though?
Yeah, I use 6 gears, but it's not enough. Maybe I put 7.
A disappointment for last week's winner at Hungary, Freddie Merkel, only 17th in the first race. Number 8 there, he starts on the 4th row of the grid.
The problem we're having now is just lack of parts, and this racetrack we just are suffering from lack of horsepower. We're 4 seconds off the fastest time, which I've never been that far off in qualifying ever. We've got it written down where we figured it out that I'm 12 miles an hour. I'm losing 12 miles an hour on the straightaways, and here they have 3 1-mile straightaways, and it's just I'm losing all the time on that. But there's just nothing I can do about it. I'm being passed by guys I've never seen before, and it's really disappointing.
So Merkel pretty devastated. There are the guys who'll be in contention right the way through the front row of the grid. About to go now for the second race in round 3 of the World Superbike Championship here at Hockenheim. We're off, and it looks like Stefan Mertens, number 6, has made a good start, but also number 44, Edwin Weibel. But it's Pirovanu who takes the first corner in front. Fabrizio Pirovanu on his Yamaha. We've seen so many good starts from him, and once again, he started in front.
Yes, I remember right at the start of the series, he led both legs at Donington Park from the off, but he's lost his advantage now with Weibel heading out into the forest in the lead.
It's Weibel, number 44, in the yellow leathers there. The Swiss rider on a Honda, he's taken the lead. Pirovanu second, and David Tardozzi close up as well.
Yes, and I think Alex Vieira, the Frenchman, was tucked in right at the head of the field there, possibly moved up to second place already.
So there we've got Weibel. Vieira second. Stefan Mertens third. A look behind from Vieira, and he sees they're all there. And there's Tardozzi on the right of your screen, number 2, threading his way through.
6 riders abreast there, jostling for positions as they come down to this second chicane, and it's Weibel who gets there first. Weibel first, leading the crocodile through the chicane out towards the stadium.
Yes, Weibel still just in front, but Stefan Mertens making his bid now, and Mertens looks as if he's taking over the lead, and Tardozzi moving into second place, and it looks like a rerun of the first with Mertens and Tardozzi right out the side there.
Yes, pushing one of the leaders right into one of the slip roads there. Not the cleanest of tactics, but it does happen.
So Stefan Mertens leads. Tardozzi second. And the Bimotas 1 and 2 as they were right at the start of race number 1. Stefan Mertens, the 28-year-old from Brussels. had so many problems in the race at Donington, and it looks like just heads off Tardozzi there. Yes, at Donington, Mertens had fuel injection problems in the first race and then fell off in the second, but had so much a better time in Hungary, where he was third in the first leg and second in the second. But now Tardozzi making his move and cutting him through on the inside, and Tardozzi takes over the lead.
Really got to have nerves of steel to undertake those sort of manoeuvres on these 130-mile-an-hour curves as they're into the chicane again. Tardozzi, Mertens right on his heels, wanting to make amends for a lowly 13th position in the first leg.
And Vieira and Webel third and fourth. But the motors look as if they're creating a bit of a gap here.
Yes, it's not totally unexpected. The horsepower factor coming into play here as the chasing pack round the Orst curve. Mertens right in the slipstream now. He's challenging. Yes, he's moving out, and Mertens slips through, leaving his braking slightly later as they head down towards the second chicane.
So Stefan Mertens in front now, but he'll be wondering all the time about his fuel injection problems he had in the first race. And he can't be totally confident with Tardozzi behind him. Indeed, Tardozzi moves alongside and in front, and Tardozzi takes the lead again. So this race number 2 here at Hockenheim, a mirror image of race number 1, with these two battling it out. But remember, in that first race, Mertens had the problem and Tardozzi didn't. But Tardozzi cannot be totally confident either. Remember the problems he had at Donington.
The Bimotor engineers actually have traced the problem which Mertens has been experiencing to faulty ignition switches, and so they'll be working on that over the coming weeks and hopefully getting it right. They've hopefully got it right for this race.
Right, a crocodile line as they move into lap number 3. In third and fourth we have Alex Vieira, and in fourth place number 44 Edwin Webel. So Honda's third and fourth, but it's Bimotor's 1 and 2 and stretching out again.
Nice to see Marco Lucinelli, number 1 there, and Mertens going round the outside. This is really hair-raising stuff as they're doing more than 130 miles an hour on these bends, braking fiercely there for the chicane.
And Tardozzi takes him again.
They're at it hammer and tongs, these two. Obviously no team orders here.
Interesting that. You would imagine that Tardozzi, because he has the reputation, might have been given the favour, but it doesn't seem to have happened.
Obviously not. At this early stage of the series, there are quite certainly no team orders here.
So a real battle up front between Tardozzi from Italy and Mertens from Belgium.
Mertens coming out again, out of the slipstream. You'll observe how they weave to and from each side of the track, trying to break each other's slipstream. Tardozzi holds the advantage through the chicane that time.
Marvellous stuff, and the packed grandstand in the distance you saw as they moved down towards it. And the two of them really putting on the power. This is where the power tells.
You can see Tardozzi's front wheel, the whole machine weaving there as he leaves his braking as late as he possibly can.
And Mertens just won't let him get away. The fiery Italian seems to have met his match here.
Yes, Mertens, a different kettle of fish in the second leg. That machine seems to be really sorted this time, and I would anticipate that he'll give his teammate a really hard time.
And there they are as they go past the grandstand and start-finish line onto lap 6. Tardozzi again from Mertens. Those two just creeping a couple of yards clear of Bourbon. And Vieira in fourth. And then quite a gap now to the chasing pack.
Mertens always tends to take the outside line here on this very fast curve, and it's paid off this time. No, it hasn't. Tardozzi's held the inside line and should be lined up better for the chicane. But Mertens does tend to prefer that outside line on that fast curve. Bourbon sticking to them like glue there.
And the three of them really have opened up a gap now between themselves and Alex Vieira. So it looks like a three-man race now. We're about a third of the way through, 15 laps on lap 6 at the moment. It really is a titanic struggle between the three of them. And I must say, I thought that Tardozzi would be creeping away by now, but it hasn't happened.
Mertens again coming out of the slipstream to try his luck for the second chicane.
And this time it's worked off. This time it has worked, and he cuts across Tardozzi, and Mertens takes the lead. Tardozzi second, and Bourbon third. As you say, no orders from the pit here, and Tardozzi will have to win this race through some brilliant riding. But there he is, that's the power of his machine. Breaks late, takes Mertens, and Bourbon still tucked in behind.
As Mertens was worrying there about Tardozzi's manoeuvres, Bourbon trying to come up the inside of Mertens. Thrilling stuff this at the head of the field.
Again, some marvellous shots of a great talent who's moving just a little bit further in front now, but just as we say that, back comes Mertens. And Bourbon having a go as well.
All a question of how you string together those bends as we go over the line into lap 7.
There's the order. Tardozzi from Mertens, Bourbon, Vieira, Lucinelli, and then Webel. But Lucinelli, number 1 there in 5th place, some way behind, and he's having to battle hard really to keep the others behind him. It's really, at the moment, a battle between these three up front.
3 abreast as they come down to the chicane. It's quite gripping stuff, this, and Bourbon's managed to get through. He's managed to get past Mertens, and maybe this will give him the opportunity to have a go at Tardozzi now.
And it looks as if Tardozzi has taken advantage and has moved significantly clear at this moment. Last time he did, they closed up straight away, so let's see if this is a real break. Doesn't look as if they're getting away. Indeed, Vieira looks as if he's moving back.
Just look at the back wheel there on the motor, sliding about under deceleration and hard braking. They're really riding on the limit, these guys. They have to get every ounce of power out of what are basically road machines tuned within the rules by their race engineers. Fascinating stuff.
Meanwhile, up front, Tardozzi leads from Bourbon, and Tardozzi seems to be moving clear. Maybe the power at last beginning to tell of this motor. And the two of them seem to have moved well clear of Stefan Mertens. Perhaps he's got a problem.
Yet again, he may have a problem with the ignition system. We were commenting earlier on that there were problems with the quality of the switches, and this could be happening to poor luckless Mertens yet again.
Indeed, he's dropped now down to 4th place. Alex Vieira has overtaken him. He's moved into 3rd. There it is. Vieira 3rd and Mertens 4th. Now I wonder if it's only temporary or if he's going to try and make a comeback. Wasn't able to in the first race. But he's stalking Vieira there. Now moves out and takes him. And it looks as if Mertens' problems are over as he now goes forward to threaten Bourbon.
And there's Bourbon. Bourbon's engine seems to have broken. He's coasting at the side of the track with his arm up. Poor Christophe Bourbon out of the World Championship race.
And that will please Tardozzi, who now looks as if he's got the race firmly under his belt, unless something dramatic befalls him, like it's done before. At Donington, it happened twice, but he'll be hoping to put that behind him now as he stretches his lead. It's Tardozzi in the lead. Stefan Mertens second, and Vieira He's not done with either, he's in third place. There's the battle for fourth place, and Joey Dunlop has moved up from 8th into fourth place, and he now just holds off Virginio Ferrari. Joey Dunlop battling away, but so many talented and experienced riders. Lucinelli there as well, number 1, and look at that. Dunlop struggling to retain control of his machine, and passed there by Ferrari. So now it's Ferrari from Italy in fourth place, ahead of Dunlop from Ireland, and this is where it happened.
Yes, Dunlop lost the back end there, made a remarkable recovery, and it was almost a question of Dunlop biting the dust for the second week in succession.
But he's wasted no time in getting right up on the backside and overtakes him.
Ferrari missed the gear there by the looks of things, and rejoins the group at the back there.
So it's Joey Dunlop who moves into fourth place, Lucinelli in 6th. It looks like Pirovano this side, who moves into fourth now. And Pirovano up into fourth, ahead of Joey Dunlop. Then Ferrari and Lucinelli. 3 laps to go. Tardozzi leads from Vieira. Stefan Mertens third, Joey Dunlop in fourth. But as you can see, the lead getting longer and longer, and Vieira moving further in front as well in second place. So he has second under control. Mertens will be third. It looks like, although in this Superbike Championship we have a habit of surprises creeping up on us whenever we least expect them.
Looks like Mertens hasn't been able to clear the problem which relegated him from this battle for the lead, or the earlier battle for the lead. He's obviously quite a way down the field in third position now.
And Tardozzi's riding has delighted the thousands who flocked here in the first 3 races at Donington and Hungary, and here in Hockenheim we've had around 100,000 in total spectators, and they're growing each race.
I think it's very significant that those sort of attendances have been recorded at the first 3 rounds. A meeting like this a couple of years ago, or maybe even last year, with the Formula 1 round, another 4-stroke World Championship, would have perhaps attracted 20,000 people, less than we have here today. So the Superbike message is getting over.
And certainly characters like Tardozzi don't do this sport any harm at all. We see him here well in control, but as we saw at Donington and again last week in Hungary, he loves nothing better than dicing away. Vieira second, Mertens fourth. Now look at this, Roger Burnett has moved up into fourth place. So Burnett moves into fourth, and I wonder what Lucinelli and the rest will think about that. It's Dunlop in 5th behind Burnett, Lucinelli 6th, and they can't get hold of Roger Burnett, who's moved right the way through, and he'll be delighted with his form here.
And so too will Ron Grant, his race engineer. Ron has spent many hours getting this bike prepared to this level of tune and to give it the edge over many of the other Hondas in the race. As they go on to lap 14, that's quite obviously the case here.
But it's not as powerful, it doesn't seem, as the Honda of Vieira in 3rd place, number 45, or in 2nd place, in fact, in front of Mertens.
Again, I think the Honda France team are benefiting from 4 or 5 years working on these V4 power units in their endurance role, and they've got quite a lot more knowledge at this stage on this particular power unit.
Roger Burnett still in 4th, but he can't shake off the vultures behind him. And look at Ferrari, number 5, on the grass there. And Burnett being threatened, and indeed passed. Burnett passed in 4th place now, and it's Marco Lucinelli, but it looks like Burnett's got back there. Burnett 4th, Joey Dunlop 5th, Lucinelli 6th. Magnificent stuff. There you see Vieira and Mertens in front of them. But look at this battle here. Lucinelli now going wide. And Lucanelli takes Dunlop and moves into 5th behind Burnett. Meanwhile, Tardozzi heads for home. You can almost see the gleam in his eye behind the visor there. Still working like mad. And still extending that lead. And it looks as if another 10 points are going to be his. And you're looking now at the man who will lead this World Superbike Championship going into the next round at Zeltweg in Austria, because Freddie Merkel has retired now and his lead has gone, and he'll be bitterly disappointed, Andrew.
René Rasmussen has disappeared from my lap charts. It looks like that could be Rasmussen, the Danish rider.
But as we go into the last lap now, Stefan Mertens threatening Alex Vieira, and Mertens goes through. Stefan Mertens goes through, and he is into 2nd place as we go into this last lap. You can see Vieira wobbling there, and Mertens passes him, and that's the position now, and he's opening up daylight between himself and Vieira. So Mertens looks set for 2nd place now, and Vieira, I think, is going to have to settle for 3rd. And good to see that Rasmussen looks as if he's getting onto his feet, and he's going to be okay. That's good news. I'm sure that Mertens there just concentrating on the road ahead and concentrating on this last 3.5 miles into this last lap, and he has got 2nd place. Mertens, the 28-year-old from Belgium. And so it looks like it's going to be a Bimota 1 and 2 here as Mertens steps up, steps on the gas and moves further and further away from Vieira. And what a contrast it is now for Mertens from his terrible time at Donington, but showed at Hungary, where he was 3rd and 2nd, that he's a force to be reckoned with. But Tardozzi now is easing it up. No problem at all as he goes through now towards the grandstand, past Sachs Curve, round the end onto Opel Curve, and David Tardozzi, the crowd in the grandstand on their feet now, acclaiming this wonderful rider. He's shown he has daring, and here at Hockenheim he's shown that he's got unbelievable talent as well. And David Tardozzi moves forward, looks behind, there's no one there. Tardozzi takes the checkered flag, and Tardozzi wins both races here at Hockenheim to take a commanding lead in the World Superbike Championship. A formidable ride from a formidable racer. And the rest of them will be a little bit worried after this. The spoils of victory and how well deserved they are. Yes, no doubt about the result. Tardozzi wins the 2nd race, and he takes a full 20 points from Hockenheim. And further down, disappointment for Marco Lucanelli, only 2.5. So after 3 rounds, Tardozzi has a 3.5 point lead ahead of Merkel, and Lucanelli is 3rd. Joey Dunlop 4th, Pirovano 5th, Stefan Mertens only 10 points behind in 6th place, and Roger Burnett 7th. A great day then for Bimota. See you next in Austria.